Mr. Zulu.
Yeah, thank you so much. So are you able to see the screen?
Got it. Yes, I am able to see the screen.
And you are seeing your slide?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so we are going to start our meeting, and
yeah, let me sign out this.
I didn't understand that.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Sorry for that.
So the objective of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, is just to give feedback on the project that Sinah implemented on HIV cure research and advocacy that she implemented in the greater Phikwe area. So she would also want to take this opportunity to consult, since she didn't do a thorough consultation at the beginning, so she just wants to do this to start consulting with various stakeholders, so that she can be able to get some feedback.
Let me talk to him. Hello, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes. Yes.
Some people, they are saying they are not allowed to let in, just like me on my laptop, and then I use the handset. I don't know why.
Ah.
So they're just calling, and then they're saying that they're not allowed, because even on my laptop it was saying the meeting host will let you in soon, and then I think it's Stella. It's calling. She said she cannot be allowed to. I don't know. Stella, are you using your handset?
No, ma'am. I'm using my laptop for Hela.
Yeah, Lena was using the laptop, so it was refusing. I don't know. What can be the case, Kennedy?
Because everyone here have disabled. Everyone can join. The waiting room, I've disabled the waiting room. Can they start again?
Okay. He's suggesting that you start again. Thank you.
I have disabled the waiting room. So there's no waiting room.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Was she able to join?
No, I don't know, but she logged out. I think she's yeah. Now we are able to join, even my laptop now. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically this is the meeting. Can I just repeat?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the objective of the meeting is actually to give feedback on the project that Sinah implemented on HIV cure research and advocacy. And she also wants to do some kind of consultation and feedback from various stakeholders. And she will be able to give us some more highlights on that from her presentation. And I think for now, I would just want to ask everyone who is here to just write in the chat box, just write your name, type your name there so that we can be able to get the names of those that are joining us this morning. So maybe we'll also introduce the speakers. I'll start with myself. I work for SEOHO. I'm also the Prevention Access Campaign, You Global Community Board member. I'm an ABAC Advocacy Fellow. I'm also an HIV Cure Advocacy Fellow, Botswana. Then I'm also a You Africa Forum founder. I'm a member of the IAS. And also, I'm an Imprint. Imprint is a fungal advocacy and research project. I'm the community engagement lead. So I think that's me briefly. I'm also an HIV activist for over 20 years now. I've been doing a lot around treatment literacy and treatment access advocacy. So basically, in a nutshell, that's how I'll introduce myself. And perhaps this time around, I'll ask you, the speakers, I don't know whether Aaron is here now, Rosemary and Julia, to introduce themselves.
I can't see Aaron yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to get hold of him. If he's not around, I think we'll continue. He may come a bit afterwards.
Okay, so before our sister starts with her slides. Maybe let's just try to understand in some without medical jargon here, just what the term HIV cure mean, because it might be misleading. I thought maybe we should try to talk about this at the beginning, so that as you start your slides, we are also on the same page with everyone here, because I remember talking to somebody about HIV cure, and that person thought I was trying to discourage people from taking ARVs because I was talking about cure. So it doesn't mean that when you talk about we advocate for cure, HIV cure, then we are discouraging people from taking the ARVs. That's not true. So basically, the term cure just refers to some strategies that eliminate HIV from a person's body, or permanently control the virus and render it unable to cause disease. Okay, so there are other types of cure strategies that are being investigated today, and some of them, we as activists, we call it shock and cure. So this is a two-step strategy aimed at flushing out or shocking the virus out of its resting cells. Remember, when you get infected, some infected cells, just go into latency. And when an infected cell goes into latency, the normal ARVs that we take every day are unable to target it, because it's in a sleep. Those infected cells, they are basically sleeping. Unless they wake up, that's when ARVs will target them. So one of the research strategy that is being pursued today is to shock those sleeping cells to wake up, so that the ordinary ARVs that we are taking today can be able to actually target them. The other one is, is called gene therapy, or some strategies to change the cells so that HIV can't infect them. This involves like editing, genes to remove. There's a protein receptor called CCR5 that, HIV attaches itself. So that's what actually basically the research is trying to pursue. So there are several others. The other one is called, immune modulation. Immune modulators refers to any type of drug or procedure that causes some type of sustained change in the immune system to better fight, HIV. So these are some of the strategies that our researchers are trying to pursue. And I'm happy that Dr. Debola is here with us, and he'll be able to shed more light on that. So just to kick the ball rolling, guys, I will ask our Sinah Teemane to introduce herself and begin her presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kennedy. Good morning. Good morning. Stakeholders here present, Botswana Harvard Institute, AIDS Institute Partnership, National AIDS and Health Promotion Agency, Peace Corps Office, Jessica as well, our program manager in absentia. She will join us later at the, as the program continues. I think it's early in the morning where they are. Fellow alumni in HIV cure and fellow health advocates here present, I greet you all. I greet you all. I'm really honored that you are part of this presentation. You are taking part in this presentation. I'm going to give you a feedback on the project that we are implementing in Greater Selebi-Phikwe, an HIV/AIDS cure project. Next slides, please. And before maybe I continue, Aaron just texted me. He said he will join me. He will join us just soon. He was coming out from another meeting. Yeah, so I'm giving you a presentation, a feedback, information on the project that we're implementing in Greater Selebi-Phikwe. GSA, Good Samaritan Association, our organization signed a contract on the 15th of January to implement an HIV cure research and advocacy project targeting few villages in Greater Selebi-Phikwe. The project is targeting community leaders and intends to build community competency in addressing HIV cure research and advocacy strategy. The impact of this project will be seen when we have greater, let me just move the camera, sorry for that. The impact of this project will be seen when we have greater public awareness on HIV cure research and advocacy strategy. We have targeted 230 community leaders, 100 traditional doctors, and 100 religious leaders, including 30 community civil societies that are implementing HIV/AIDS activities. The advocacy target in this project are 9 chiefs in the targeted communities, including 3 court presidents. The advocacy goal in this project is chiefs taking the lead in making communities realize HIV cure and research strategies that are currently being explored. We have used the bottom-up approach where communities are engaged through conducting community dialogues on HIV cure research and advocacy strategies. Just a bit of background information on HIV cure. I appreciate what our fellow alumni have laid when it comes explaining the strategies that are explored. I want to say that Botswana have been on the map when it comes to HIV cure. Botswana has been at the epicenter of the HIV epidemic for decades and has led the continent in its response to the crisis. Botswana Harvard Institute was established. Its partnership with the Ministry of Health was established in 1996, and the researchers from those 2 institutions, they pioneered the discoveries that reduced mother-to-child transmission, and the rate of HIV transmission from mother to child is estimated to be 0.56, according to the 2020 report, PMTCT report. Last year we were last month we attended the International AIDS Conference, and we received a presentation from Dr. Shapiro's foundation. We are not aware of this one, but we heard it from the conference that there's a research that is going on here in Botswana, pediatric research, where by the team, Shapiro's team is now partnering with Reagan Institute in Boston to push the frontier of HIV cure research in Botswana. I quote them. They said, "We have just completed a critical phase of the Tatelo study. In Setswana, it means the next thing. It's Setswana name that means the next thing. By successfully using a combination of broadly neutralizing antibodies given to suppress HIV up to 6 months in a select group of children with HIV." And they have also put it in the Facebook page. Now, the tool that we use in this project, we use a curriculum tool. It is a curriculum.
The slides are not moving.
We are using a curriculum tool. A curriculum is a tool, is a training curriculum aiming to make the science of HIV cure-related research accessible to community.
Just a minute, Asna. I think since you're using a phone, so you whenever you move to the next slide, let me sort I move to that slide.
Okay.
On which slide are you?
I'm already on the 5th slide.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm using my cell phone, and also because I was not able to connect through the laptop at the beginning. That's fine. Thank you. So we are using the curriculum. Curriculum, like I said, is a community capacity engagement tool that is used to engage the community, and it was designed. In its design, there was a collaboration of people living with HIV/AIDS, the community advocates and community educators, and the goal of the curriculum is to strengthen community capacity and engagement, engaging communities in discussions about HIV cure-related research. The topics that are covered, just in summary, like my brother has already alluded, the meaning of the cure. Why is it difficult to cure HIV? Why do we need HIV cure? What pathways are currently being explored? Why do we think a cure for HIV is possible? Next slide, please. There are two main pathways that are being investigated as we speak: complete or classic cure and ART durable suppression. The first one is the completion of elimination from the virus, and strategies that are explored or at this moment are called the gene and the cell editing, where there is an extraction of the bone marrow from stem cell from a person living with HIV/AIDS, modify them and put them back into one's own body. We also have the block and lock, where you block the reading of the HIV DNA and lock the HIV DNA from ever being read. During the academy in 2019, we also learned of the shock and kill. Last month at the conference, we were taught about this new one, bake and shake. The second approach pathway that is being investigated, ART-free durable suppression. This is the ability to control HIV replication without HIV treatment, and they use the immune-based strategies. These are strategies used to boost the immune response, and there are quite many of them, examples of them: the DNA and RNA vaccines, viral vector vaccines. There's that one that is also called the broadly neutralizing antibodies. Is very important that we know this one, because I think the Shapiro Foundation, they are using it on the Tatelo study. So it is one of the strategies that is being tried here in Botswana. So the hope is that the immune-based modulators might contribute to controlling the virus in the absence of ART, and perhaps allow one, I'm still on this one, sir. Just go back. So the hope is that the immune-based modulators might contribute to controlling the virus in the absence of ART, and perhaps allow one's own immune system to help eliminate HIV-infected cells. I was just giving, a recap of what we teach. Of course, in our Setswana, in our language, we have translated these tools. We teach them in Setswana at our Yokota. Why do we believe there is a cure? Why do we believe a cure might be possible? On record, we can confirm that there are 2 people who have been cured from HIV. Yes, there are others that are cured from HIV/AIDS, but they are still being monitored. For example, if someone has been free from HIV/AIDS for 6 months, that person is still under investigation. They still have to monitor whether the virus will not rebound. But these ones, we can confirm that they were healed. Timothy Brown, the Berlin patient, was free from HIV for 13 years, and he died in September 2020. He died of cancer. And Adam Castillejo, a London patient, he has been free from HIV for 3 years now. Now we have declared that he is cured. They both use the stem cell transplant known as the bone marrow transplants. Now I'm getting out of that jargon. I was just giving a recap of what we teach. Is the whole day workshop, but I've presented it in 2 slides so that you can appreciate what we teach from our tool. Key achievements from our project in Selebi-Phikwe. We see the chiefs are now taking the lead in awareness raising in their communities on HIV cure, cure and research strategies. We have consulted and trained the chiefs on the cure strategies. They have signed an agreement with us that they will incorporate in their plans HIV cure and advocacy education. And they have actually done that. They've slotted us in their quarter meetings, and together with them, we were able to teach communities on HIV cure strategies. We have an HIV cure manual that we have customized to our culture, to our language. For example, we know that in our language, when we say treatment, we mean kalahi, we mean the ARV. We have to really come up and separate it from the cure. Because if you say kalahi, you might say treatment. Just to give an example of, customizing it to our language and culture and the way we use words here. Another achievement under the communication of accurate scientific results, we trained 66 traditional doctors out of 100.
I think you are, what slide are you? You are not guiding me on the slide so that people can follow.
Number 10. Sorry. Number 10. 10, thank you. So we have trained 66 traditional doctors out of 100 that was targeted, 90 religious leaders that out of 100 that was targeted, and both traditional leaders and the religious leaders, they signed statement of commitment to support HIV cure research and advocacy. Next slide, please. The third result, reduced HIV cure barriers. We trained 25 civil societies that are implementing HIV cure, that are implementing HIV activities. And we formed an advocacy team as a result of that training. Next slide, please. Next slide. Hello? Next slide.
Okay, it was freezing, sorry, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So we encountered some challenges. Most of traditional doctors that we had in our database as back as 2017, 2019, they've relocated from Selebi-Phikwe when the mine was closing. We had traditional doctors in our database when we were implementing adolescent sexual reproductive health project that was funded by Positive Action for Girls and Women from UK. We realized that when we followed them, that's why we resulted with 66 traditional doctors being trained. Lesson learned, next slide, please. Yes, thank you. We have learned that patients see both traditional healers and Western physicians, and there's little collaboration between the two systems. There are still people who do not use evidence-based health services. Instead, they opt for traditional healers. We also learned that people are still found defaulting from ART and opting for traditional medicine. Next slide, please. A way forward. We suggested that there is need for people who have been cured from HIV through traditional medicine to go for HIV testing, at least to do rigorous testing, HIV testing. We need to know or we also need to, we suggested that we also need to know compounds that are used in traditional medicine. Some might interfere with ART adherence. Next slide, please. Upcoming activities. Yeah, is this one that we are having consultative meeting targeting Napa, Botswana, Harvard Institute, health advocates. It is done today. Another activity that is coming on the 23rd of September, we will be having 12 traditional doctors and 12 heads of district health management teams. We will conduct a dialogue between the two groups, and we hope that after that dialogue, we'll have a referral tool. A referral tool will be created for traditional doctors to refer clients to medical practitioners. We are trying to develop the relationship between the two. And then we will end with the evaluation of the project. We'll do the feedback workshop, and then we'll close up the project on the 15th of October. Just 2 more slides, because the other slides are just pictures. We conducted a baseline research. We need you to appreciate what is on the ground, where we realized that 20% of community leaders knew what HIV cure is. So really, people don't know what HIV cure is. 7% of community leaders did not have, only 7% had knowledge about HIV cure results. In other words, they never knew of anyone who was cured scientifically from HIV/AIDS. 37% of community leaders agreed that ART only suppresses HIV as long as people take it. So there is a lot of work to do on the ground, and we set some targets for ourselves. We'll see the end line, what we'll get at the end line at the end of the project. The impact. During community dialogue, some people express the will to take part in HIV cure trials if they can come to Botswana. They are really challenging us that they want to take part in the trials. Traditional doctors agree to bring their medicines to be tested. This will be taken up to the dialogues that will be held between the traditional doctors and medical practitioners. Is one of the things that we'll discuss. One traditional doctor was contacted, Dr. Nuku Gladys Malebo, a herbalist registered under the United Herbalist Association in Botswana, who professes to cure HIV. Her medicine is called Seromo Badimu. She agreed to participate in our upcoming dialogues between traditional doctors and medical practitioners. And she has gone public. Her Facebook is there. She tells the whole world that she cures HIV. And then those are the pictures showing consultative meetings that were done through the decks and the trainings that we had with the chiefs, community dialogues that we conducted with communities in Greater Selebi-Phikwe, just to appreciate the pictures, and that's the training for the traditional doctors. I did not put pictures, we didn't update our Facebook to show the training on the religious leaders, but we have done it. Thank you. Asante, ke a leboga.
Wow, thank you so much, Sinah, for that brilliant presentation. And honestly, this unearths some issues that are persistent in our communities. And one thing that I actually picked up from your presentation is the fact that our traditional doctors are also actively involved, and that they have, one of them have agreed to bring their compounds for testing, and that's what we want, because we don't want wild claims that my compound works, and because personally I have never met anyone who have gone to a traditional doctor and I've stopped seeing them at IDCC clinic. No, I've never, but I would love to see one. Yeah, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for paying attention to that. And I don't know, maybe we have some comments or questions regarding myself, what I talked about in the opening, and what our Sinah has just presented to us. You are free to unmute yourself, and since we are very few here, I'll be able to see your hands, and we'll be able to give you a chance to ask or to comment. Thank you so much. Questions?
Hello, I can't hear anything. I have a challenge this side.
Yes, I'm just trying to ask the participants to ask questions or to just comment on your presentation. So
You are not, the speaker is not audible.
okay, so I'm not audible.
I don't know what.
Is it you only? Is everyone not able to hear me?
I've put it on my let me see what happened.
We can hear you, sir.
Oh,
We
so
can hear you,
I'll put it on my ear. It's fine. Thank you. I can hear you.
yes, yeah. So you all this one of the, maybe as you prepare for your comments and questions, ladies and gentlemen, one major challenge in finding a cure is because when HIV gets into your body, they infect your CD4 cells, and some CD4 cells that are infected by HIV go into latency, and they form some clusters of reservoir. We call them viral reservoirs. And those viral reservoirs, the normal ARVs we are taking are unable to reach them. And that's the reason why we continue taking our treatment every day, So, and I think the shock and kill strategy is one best strategy that I really want to see, materialize, and I wish that this particular research can be successful. So let's ask questions. We have doctors here who can be able to clarify some of the questions regarding, cure science itself, and how you think probably this science can be, cascaded down to communities and especially groups of people living with HIV. Because for me, the science around cure, I follow the HIV cure research, and it motivates me to take my treatment. So it's a motivation factor. Yeah. So thank you so much. Sinah, you can go ahead.
Yes, I just want to explain further that it is important that all are involved in HIV cure research. The medical practitioners, the physicians cannot do it alone. For example, I'm not from the health sector. I'm a social scientist. So as they are in the laboratory looking for the cure, we are also with the people, dealing with behaviors of the people. So there's need for a collaboration. They cannot find a cure alone and leave other people. That is why the tool that we use, it is used to engage everyone in the cure. For you to get any vaccine, any medication, there need to be trials. And for you to do trials, you need people. People need to participate in trials. Now, if we don't play our cards very well in HIV as cure, we'll realize that we will not even have people who will participate in trials. For example, if we rely and trust our traditional medicine so much, and of course, at one point they work for us, we might not even have people who will participate in trials. We know that trials, you start in a laboratory using a test tube, then you use the mouse, the rats, and from the rats you go to the baboons. From the baboons you take 10 cohorts, 10 people in a one cohort, and then another cohort, the third cohort. Even with the COVID-19 vaccine, that's the process that you do. And after testing it through several cohorts, then you can roll it to the whole nation and say this vaccine is really working for COVID. So the same applies. We really need people who can participate in trials. That is very important. And we need to prepare the ground so that when the vaccine comes here for HIV cure, people will be able to take it, because they might say we are fine with ARTs. They might say we are fine with ARVs. And just like what happened with the COVID-19 vaccine, some people were not really ready to take vaccine, but there was no time to teach people about, COVID vaccines, because we're already in the pandemic. So this is the right time for us to teach the people on HIV cure research. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sinah. Any comments, questions? Before we move to the next session. For sure, this is an interesting topic that I expected a barrage of questions and comments. It's something that people don't want to talk about, but it's important. Yes, Lebo, I think that's Lebo.
Yes, thank you, Kennedy. I came in late. I wish I started with you guys. It's so interesting to hear somebody presenting about cure. I haven't been following anything about the science behind curing HIV. So this was like my first time to hear about it. And I think I had heard talking something about the bone marrow to cure it. And I was wondering, is the procedure a very simple thing or an expensive thing for those who have done it?
Yeah, thank you. I'll take it. Yes, thank you so much for that comment and that question. It is an expensive procedure. The gene and the cell editing is not an easy one, but that's the one that has worked so far. At least 2 people, they have gone through that, those 2 that have been cured. But to tell the truth, it's not an easy one. It's quite expensive. But in trials, we try everything and see what will work, because life is more valuable than any other thing. Recently, they are following the ART-free suppression. These ones where you use the BNAPs, broadly neutralizing antibodies, to strengthen the immune system and see whether the immune system can control HIV and eventually kill HIV/AIDS. That will be more simpler than the other technique, the other strategy. But sure, that you are right. It's a bit complicated, but it has proved to work. They're still investigating the strategy. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Sinah.
much. You guys are...
Okay, yeah, so I can't see any hand here.
And Jessica just texted me. He said she will join a little later. As I alluded, I think where they are, it was early in the morning when we started, but she said she will join at the end, our program manager. Thank you.
Okay, so what we suggest we go to the next. Is Rosemary here? From Pisco.
Pisco office, are you there? You can
Good.
check whether Aaron is there.
Aaron, I think he's not here. I can see the whole screen here. I can't see Aaron's name here. You said he was trying to join, and did he join and just dropped off?
Yeah, you're saying I'll join shortly on another call, but I'm leaving
Okay.
now. Yeah, so that was, but now he has not joined again. But maybe we can continue without him so that we really, I don't know who is there to make a presentation, because
Julie-
I cannot see Rosemary. I don't know whether Rosemary is there from Pisco office. They are not there. Maybe
Julia.
we will just wait for Jessica, because she knows that she will come maybe at 10 minutes to.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
meanwhile, we can utilize this time just to interact and just ask questions. There's no right and wrong question. This is a science that we think we all deserve to know. Communities need to know. I personally have been following the HIV cure science for some years now, because of just the interest that, okay, if it's you, because you actually, that motivated me, that if someone who's virally suppressed and they're unable to transmit HIV sexually, then definitely is an indicator that one day we'll find a cure for HIV. Thank you, Sinah. You can comment.
Yes, one thing that we have learned when we're, doing because when we are teaching, we're also doing the research. We want to find what information do we have on the ground concerning HIV cure. And we want people really to own this thing. When it came to stigma and criminalization of HIV/AIDS, Botswana, the traditional doctors and the religious leaders, because we are targeting the community leaders, they pointed out that HIV is still stigmatized in Botswana and is still criminalized, especially on issues of, defilements, issues of rape. If you have committed the similar crime, the one with HIV/AIDS has got more punishment than the other. So then they pointed out this, we can still see criminalization, but they appreciated that at least with the insurance company now, they no longer ask whether you are HIV positive or negative, you are just insured. But they said it was not the case in the beginning. There was really a lot of criminalization and stigmatization. So I was just sharing with you what is on the ground, and so that you can appreciate that the Botswana are also owning these strategies and the tools and the teachings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can see Jessica is with us now. Maybe before we get to Jessica, we can, I think Lebo wanted to say something.
Yeah, I have a simple question. So I wanted to ask, for those people who are participating on the study, or is it a research? What do they look at? Do they look at the viral load for them to say, this is the person who can go for bone marrow transplant, what, or do they also look at certain diseases that they are living with, except for HIV and AIDS? Like, what does it take for somebody to qualify to be part of that when you are living with HIV and AIDS? The reason why I'm asking, anyway, answer first. Thank you.
Yeah, I will really like Dr. Ajibola, if he's here, also to comment and say something from Botswana Harvard Institute. And we also have my program manager. She will also, comment on that one. What we know is that for you to fight and cure HIV/AIDS, we must, take it from its deep sleep. So you should really stop. You should stop the ARVs. so that the HIV/AIDS can be awakened, so that you will be able to, you cannot really cure HIV, address HIV while it is in its deep sleep. So, but the doctors will be assessing whether you are fit enough to go through you really go through rigorous examination from the doctors. They will see whether you are fit, and if you are not fit, maybe if they want to address certain health issues that are because they will be interested in you taking part in HIV trials. So if Dr. Ajibola is there, I would like him to just to comment from the medical point of view, and Jessica will also help us. And other Illuminites, you are there, you can also help us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think there's, Dr. Ajibola, you can go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thanks for having me join this very important discussions that we should have. I think just to clarify on the issue of bone marrow transplant and the likes, the two patients so far that have had bone marrow procedures and have been cured, one of them is late now, were actually incidental procedures. They had those transplants done for some other cancer-related treatment procedure, but it was found to have helped with the HIV cure in those people simply because of interactions between CCR5 in the bone marrow that was transplanted to them. So they were incidental findings, but as everyone has been saying, there's ongoing research, not in Botswana though, that I'm aware of, that are currently looking to be able to identify criteria by which you can recommend bone marrow transplant to specific HIV as a specific HIV treatment intervention or HIV cure intervention. It's still quite far-fetched for now because bone marrow transplant on its own, it's a very complicated and risky procedure. We're just getting a hand of it in the medical field ourselves. So one needs to really take it through rigorous research process, and then you can identify who will benefit from it and who will not. There are a few other patients that have had bone marrow transplant and were not cured of HIV. So those are still some nitty-gritties that needs to be ironed out through more research work and things like that. Now, with regards to cure research in Botswana, I'll speak for the team I represent, which I work with Dr. Shapiro and was part of the Tatelo study, which is still ongoing. I think the first thing we have learned in Botswana is treatment as cure. And I'm saying that because a few years ago, I think in 2015, started treatment very early in children after we heard about the Mississippi baby who started treatment in the first 24 hours of life, continued treatment, stayed off treatment for a while, and there was no detectable virus. So we started that in Botswana on a group of kids, and the results we're finding from those kids right now is actually quite encouraging. We're having these kids, a few of them now are just above 7 years old, and apart from being virally suppressed for a very long time, they also have very, very low reservoirs. And when we look at their reservoirs, these are kids who have what we call replication incompetent viruses. That means they have just clonal expansions. The reservoirs we're finding they're not viruses that can replicate in most of them, not all of them. These were the same kids that we introduced and challenged to dual BNAbs, broadly neutralizing antibody. We stopped them on ART and we put them on once a month infusion of BNAbs to see if they would maintain their suppression, viral suppression. And a few of them did very, very well. So I think the first thing to really emphasize is, if we start treatment quite early, most likely in the acute phase of the infection, especially in kids who have growing immune system, the immune system is just developing as at the time we start treatment, we're likely going to have attained some level of functional cure. And I use that word carefully, simply because we'll be able to quickly control the virus and limit the seeding of the virus into latency cells. And then we move that to other approaches, which you've mentioned, to try and see if we can take them off ART, see how long they will remain suppressed, try them on BNAbs. And in future, at Harvard, and I think I saw Catherine on the call, we're also looking at the possibility of looking into the mRNA technology and see if that can teach us something as to coming up with HIV, mRNA HIV vaccine, and that can also help. So we are continuing to see how best within the ethical scenario in Botswana on how to go ahead, continue conducting cure research, and there are a few going on currently, including the Tatelo study, and it keeps migrating and it keeps advancing into future studies which will come. So yes, it's a very meager effort. It's something that is still pretty new to us, and I do like the fact that there's already a team out there engaging other stakeholders, which is something we in the research world don't do too well too often. I think the only part I think I would really love to see added to the advocacy team and message out there is the fact that, yes, there might be people who, in quotes, might have received treatments from traditional doctors or religious healers and are actually indeed virologically suppressed. We in the research world are quite interested in people like that. These are people that should be encouraged to come forward and participate in research studies, because it would be nice if we can study their immune system, see what type of antibodies they have, see if those are things that can be replicated to benefit other people, and things like that. But so far, it's been a huge challenge to even conduct such a research in Botswana, but I think we'll gradually get in there. There are some people, again, who we call elite controllers. Without doing anything, they're able to, on their own, control the virus. Those are the people who will also be interested to research more on and study more to see what are the profiles, what are the dynamics, what do they have that is unique, and how can we learn and how do I put this? Learn and then maybe replicate what they have to benefit other people and things like that. So I think I'll stop there, but I'm still going to listen in if there's any other specific question coming to me. But yes, cure research is ongoing in Botswana, and I think it will continue for a while, and we're trying several strategies as have been highlighted since the beginning of the chat. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jibola. That was so refreshing and so encouraging, and we are so excited to hear that we are also in the front line, trying to push some of these, strategies so that we can be able to, whether they can be conclusive or lead to other, studies in future. So we are so excited, and that's the bridge that we need to to put between you guys up there and us, so that we can be able, because we can only appreciate what we are doing if we know exactly what we are doing as communities. So please, let's bridge this gap so that we can be able to work hand in hand with you guys and see how we can also be able to help in the process as activists, because some of us, we are waiting, you know, we keep, every time I wake up, I want some good news regarding some advances in HIV cure research. Yes, Sinah.
Thank you very much. Good day. Mine is just a question. When Sinah talked to, unfortunately, I missed the larger part of the presentations because I had challenges with my audio. I couldn't hear anything from my end. And once I resorted to the other device, I found I heard Sinah talking about or lobbying for all stakeholders to come on board for the success of this study, so that we can be able to edit to know if indeed HIV/AIDS can be curable. And as you go on, like the previous speaker had just talked, I hear us talking more of the science as well as people who the collaboration with the traditional doctors. So what comes to my mind is that are we only interested in only the scientific part being the ones that we can perform on the lab, being those that are able to go through the modern treatment, as well as those that go through the traditional doctors, or even other faith organizations or faith, those that other religions, as we know that there are others that claim that they are being healed through other faith beliefs, or other beliefs being like the churches or whatever. Are they also those, are you also interested in those to just prove whether indeed it's true that they have been healed, or they received cure through any other mode? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can I take it?
Yes, please.
Yes, we showed in our presentation, like you said, you joined later, that we targeted the religious leaders. Now, it is tricky because with the religious leaders, they lay hands on people or they give people water, holy water, and then people are cured from many diseases. But our presentation was more on the traditional doctors with the compounds that they use. And when we made a presentation, we also made some suggestions. We made some recommendation that we need to know compounds that are used in traditional medicines. Some might interfere with ART, just like what Dr. Ajibola has said, that this is the study that we need to engage in and bring everybody on board. But as for the faith healers, when we were interviewing them, we realized that they don't use any compound except maybe holy water or laying on of hands, or maybe some holy oil. Yeah, that is but we bring everybody on board because the people that we are targeting, we really share the clients. We share the clients, the medical practitioners share the clients with the traditional doctors and the religious leaders. We share the same clients. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Kennedy, Jessica is here. I think, yeah, she has been here for quite some time. Thank you.
Yes, so we have Jessica and Aaron. So Jessica, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes. This is Kennedy here, and I'm moderating. So thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome, and I think we'll give you a slot just to talk briefly about the HIV cure program.
Great, thank you all. I'm Jessica Salzwedel. I'm a senior program manager at AVAC, and with the International AIDS Society, we run an HIV cure research academy. as well as the grant program that Sinah and Aaron are part of, and Kennedy has attended the grant program, all with the goal to increase the number of people interested and engaged in and with HIV cure research. And so I'm really excited to be here and have the privilege of listening in on this really fruitful conversation. I think so many of the questions that you asked are phenomenal questions around, what are the types of research that is being done and how can we optimize what is going on? While bone marrow transplants are not a strategy under investigation, there are things that we can learn from a process that is being done for people who have a blood cancer and HIV. How to optimize that procedure. There is exciting knowledge to be gained from people who naturally control the virus, and how do we translate that to others? And it's incredibly important work to bring together traditional healers and faith healers to not only see what we can learn from them, but to understand and bring different perspectives into the conversation. Because there's the science of finding a cure, and then there's also the hopefully the hopefully someday soon approach of actually rolling out a strategy once one is identified. And there's some really exciting pediatric HIV cure research happening in Botswana, and cure research is really beginning to roll out in Africa. And I think over the coming years, you'll see more trials available for adults as well through the ACTG, the AIDS Clinical Trials Group, and different industry sponsors as well. So it's really an exciting time for cure research, and it's an important time for advocates to get involved, to understand the issues that matter, not just to their communities, but that will really impact the direction of the science. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be in this space for a few minutes and hear the conversation. And congratulations to Sinah and Kennedy and Aaron for all of this phenomenal work that you've really been doing to bring cure research to a wider audience and gain a really exciting set of input into the conversation. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica. And we are now, I think we are also looking at the COVID tide going down. I think we'll actually have more on face-to-face meetings soon, so that we can be able to engage further on how communities and scientists actually can merge and have to achieve a common goal, because we really need some advances in HIV cure research to start taking hold. Yeah, thank you so much again, Jessica, for the insights on the HIV cure program. Aaron, I can see you are here.
Yes, Kennedy. Good morning from this part of West Africa, Nigeria, Kaduna State.
Thank you so much, Aaron. It's been a long time. So yeah, so can you just give us some summary of, as a grantee, just maybe a summary of your activities that you implemented in Nigeria?
Okay, so thank you very much, and also I appreciate Sinach for this collaborative webinar engagement. So for Nigeria, we are looking more around adolescents and young people. How do we get them to be empowered with knowledge around HIV cure? And also, we are also engaging policymakers and also health service providers. How do we also help them to understand the different strategies that is involved in HIV cure? And also, how can we begin to see government commitment towards prioritizing HIV cure within the national plan, national budget, and also plan guidelines? So basically for us, we've been able to do some kind of serious engagement with state policymakers, including those from the legislative, to educate them and also get to seek their commitment towards investing in HIV cure and also prioritizing it within guideline. And I think it's yielding more gains because pro to now, the National HIV Treatment, Care and Support TWG, oftenly communications around cure are not even coming up. But I think with the reality of the project I'm doing there, there's so a need to also start prioritizing that conversation. So young people also are getting empowered with knowledge. A lot of myths and misconceptions are being addressed. At least many of them now know that we have both the classic and also we have the control cure. And many of them have also been able to know that there are individuals that have at least attained one or the other form of cure. So this also is also gaining more momentum. However, you know, we are just doing it in 2 states, Lagos and Kaduna. Lagos actually is from the western part of the country, the Yoruba, and then Kaduna is from the northern part of the country, the Hausa. So we also want to look at cross-cutting cultural differences. How is this message is accepted and how are these stakeholders also willing to take it up? So I think these are just but few that I would just say. Thank you.
Thank you. That's brilliant, Aaron. And you remember that dance when you were here in Botswana. Please, we miss you. When are you coming?
When next you invite me to Botswana?
Okay, thank you so much. And I don't know now, where do we move to? Anyone with a pressing issue that you think maybe, our speakers here can be able to address, please, you're welcome. You're welcome to ask or comment.
Yeah.
I can't see a hand.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an hour meeting. Yeah, if there's no question, maybe they also have got some commitments to make.
Yeah.
But it's good that we're giving them one more chance. Thank you.
Yes, so nevertheless, I think we can just leave our email addresses so that people can get in touch with us for further, engagement. And thank you everyone for joining us, and we wish you good luck. Continue engaging with the researchers. Thank you so much, Dr. Chibola, for your presence. And last words from you, our Sinah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who participated. You have made this activity a success. Yeah, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep on following.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.